last year's budget? No.
There's a summary page on it.
Ken, do you have it?
No, not today.
Sarah jinxed us all, by the way. She said that I'd be on by 10:30. I said, you just totally made me gonna be there late.
Yeah, 10:30 on what day?
Right, I said you're home by 11.
I was planning on not going home.
Now, one of the things I did is I took out a fund balance.
What do you mean?
What I calculated here, there's no dollars being used in the fund balance.
Yeah, but there's no, what I don't have here is what we're doing this year.
What, you want this year?
Well, I need to be, how can I know what the
Compare.
changes?
You have to compare.
What's the amount of money we're raising this year by taxes?
$550,000.
No. You got 3.793 million. What's this year's number raised by taxes? I can subtract the two, and then I know what our increase.
Print that out.
Okay, thank you, sorry.
Get last year's budget through the summary page.
Yeah.
The summary page for the budget, get last year's.
If I do, it would be in my notebook.
While Ed's getting that, let's discuss some possible reductions that I would like to put on the table. Okay, we discussed the idea of reducing the roads from 300,000 for CIP. I think we can keep that on the table and not dramatically impact our maintenance of roads. I think we could consider,
Say that you want to deduct 41,
Just make it 300,000 flat, right?
for the roadway reconstruction.
41,070 deduction.
okay.
Then the ladder truck, I think we should put back to 25,000. And the reason I say that is because we still have to make, as I think Roseanne was getting at, the town decision about staffing levels. And it's gonna be many years before we can get to actually buy the ladder truck. And we're looking at needing to identify areas to save money. So we can continue on that program, maybe not at the rate we were hoping to. I think we can also, let's see, in buildings and grounds, there's $6,000 for veterans memorial maintenance, because that's what Ed put in based on my spreadsheet, which is what I understood that we were trying to do. So today, the committee made it clear they were asking for $10,000 total. We've put $5,000 in the CIP. We've put a little bit of money in the committee request area, which they won't need if they have a separate line. So we could put some other number than 6,000. There was an indication they wanted $5,000 for taping. I'd be comfortable with like $3,000 or $3,500 in that line for them to use for different aspects of the maintenance stuff. And if they want to use it for taping, that's fine with me. That's my
Well, it
suggestion.
would come out of doubles and grants then.
I don't really care where it's budgeted. I was just trying to respond to their request. And, you know, so. And then the other one is, we have $2,000 increase in assessing part-time, maybe it's $1,000 increase for part-time. But that's pretty minor. And then,
Didn't he decide not to go with that plan? Any original plan?
he decided not to go with the full-time.
Okay. So we never
had
pulled that
we
money
had
out.
doubled the amount of money available for part-time from 2,000 to 4,000.
Okay,
And that's
so-
for the person to do a data verification. Maybe it's good money now, but or it's not a good decision, I don't know. The other suggestion I have is to put the buildings and grounds part-time people to a warrant article. That's a $28,800 warrant article. And to keep mosquitoes within. That's what I would suggest we do at this point.
What was the grounds you were gonna cut?
28,800. It's just a shifting to giving voters a decision-making on it.
And the assessor was only 1,000?
Yeah, probably not even, I don't know.
I think, again, you and I talked about it in there, but I think, to be fair to everybody, everybody should have a cut. I still think the rec department should have a cut also. In addition to what I know we already took a cut, 20 40,000 to 12,000, but we increased it.
That's what I've been trying to do, is going through every line item in the budget again. I'm only on page 3, but it's just, well,
No, it's
but
good.
it's taking money, I mean, I just think it's, it's what we've, what
Oh,
we've
I know.
already done.
4,000 there,
I
right?
got $4,000 on the first page, I got $1,050 on the second page, 3,000 on the third page. I just think if maybe it's gonna take me a little longer, but, I mean, it's just, it's really cutting $1,000 in every department really, and, I mean, cause not in every department, but if they're looking at their actuals and saying, okay, we can take 500 here, we can take 1,000 here. So if that's, I agree, I'm comfortable with those, but we still need more money than that, right?
What did you have?
Probably.
You had
Yeah.
25,000 for what? Buildings and grounds,
But I'd hate
28
to
for
only give
maybe a
my
warranted
first
article.
3 pages and not
What else
give
you
it to the rest of them.
1,000 assessing part-time. 3,500, it would be a $2,500 reduction.
Okay.
Or actually, I don't know.
Well, Brian, just by what you're saying right now, we're cutting 98,000. And that's what we wanted, was 100.
No,
Well, we're trying to
146.
figure out, we have to figure out the interaction between the revenue,
Yeah,
the
okay.
taxes, and we were looking at apples and comparing them to oranges. And we have to make sure,
We're doing it right.
What else
the
was
spending can go up more than 5%, but the taxes might not go up 5% because the revenue, Ed has different revenue forecasts. It looks like investment income was being under budgeted by like $100,000.
By a lot,
It was under budget.
by a lot of money.
So
Previous?
what that did is it created a cushion of surplus, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's tax money that has to get raised to make that up. So what Don is budgeting 325, I believe, instead of 200. So we have $125,000 more in the budget, so that's reducing the tax money raised.
And, okay, I got you.
So maybe
What were your other ones? 28, 1,000?
28.8 would be going to a warrant article.
Yeah, okay. Assessment, 1,000 off that.
41,000 off of the CIP for roads,
Roads.
and 1,000, or 25,000 off the ladder truck.
25 off the ladder.
Say 23 minus,
3,500 for the war memorial.
Software maintenance.
3,500 for, 35,000.
So
3,500 for the
1,500.
war.
I had 39.8.
It was at 6,000.
It was at
So I
6,000.
was thinking 3,000, so
So
cut
take-
at 3.
So, okay.
You know,
That way they have,
3,000.
$3,000 is a
You
lot
know,
of money.
one of the other things you did too on the revenue side is the overlay was $390,000 last year, $100,000 this year,
How much?
100,000. So that's effectively gonna increase your revenue quite substantially.
So it will increase that revenue
Yeah,
side.
because you're
Okay.
not. Oh, okay.
Thank you. Oh, I think I had that in here.
So where's this piece of paper that I got?
No, I would have given you a different sheet of paper.
So the town portion to be raised by taxes is $400,000 less?
Say that again?
The town portion to be raised by taxes is $380,000 less? I don't know.
Yep. Although you're looking, one thing here, you're looking at, the gross appropriation has the entire budget in it. But we're looking at first paperwork the first piece of paper I gave you was just as it relates to the general fund. Because the other things are revenues coming back, the enterprise funds.
That was related to the general
Yeah.
fund?
Because when the tax paperwork is the gross,
Yeah, but I'm looking at the net town appropriation.
yep,
That means the net amount of money you're raising from taxes. Is that correct?
correct.
That's $4,111,000. And this one that you just gave us for 2008, you're saying you're expecting that we're raising $3,793,000.
town appropriations, correct. Based upon the numbers that Don gave me.
It doesn't look right. I don't know why.
Should be going, shouldn't it be going up? I mean, the assessments go up.
Well, we saved, if you look at the tax rate calculation one, the overlay was 191. We're doing an overlay of 100. So we saved $91,000 there, right?
We also put a $500,000 in.
On the overlay?
Yeah.
You say 300,000.
Well, last year's overlay says 191.
No, that's
That's what it says.
how much was used. If you look at the budget for the overlay last year, it was $390,000.
I'm just trying to figure out, if you add $90,000 onto 3793, you get to 388. Because it looks like we're spending less money. This is.
I think actually you are. What's,
We're not spending less money.
well, I think the net budget impact is less than it was last year.
Yeah.
And here's the reasons why. If you look at your revenue side, you had an overlay, which
Okay,
is,
before you get there, we have to get that thing out, because
okay.
you're faster than us. That's what I'm trying to find.
What are you using?
Don, can you show us what it looks
The
like?
revenue summary that,
Okay.
Revenue.
Can we get that today?
Yeah.
yes, you did.
Yes, we do.
Okay, hold on a second. Oh. Does it say it says
This is,
Department General Summary, General Fund, 3:41 PM?
that's it.
That's it. So if you look at, it's about the,
I think three of us are still looking for it, so hold on.
okay.
I know that problem.
What does it say in the top right?
It says Department Summary,
Oh,
General
here.
Fund,
Yeah, what's the date?
2/12/08, 3:41 PM.
It was in the pile of stuff we got today.
It was in this pile you gave us, I think.
Yes.
Did you see the heading? I'll take a show.
That's about 12, 8 pages. Yep. The best indication is it says 3:41 PM in the top left corner. Excuse me, top left corner. Find it, Mike?
No, I can't find it. I got my stuff right here, too.
I'll show you. Now, if you look at this, about the fifth line down, it says overlay. It says there's a negative $390,000 in that line.
Okay.
That's a reduction of revenue,
Yep.
okay? Now, if you look at what we have in the current year, we adjusted that on the far right-hand column to $100,000.
Okay.
So you picked up $290,000 effectively in revenue. Because you were reducing the amount by that, and now you've lessened that, so you've actually increased by $290,000. You picked up on the interest earnings,
Next page.
the next page. You
Interest on investments.
picked- Right.
You picked up
That went from
125.
200,000 to 325.
Okay.
So you picked up 290 plus 125.
So that's not giving us the 325. Is that what, am I combining those two figures
You
together?
picked up 125.
Yeah.
And 290. So what's that, 290?
That's 420, 415.
Okay, so roughly you picked up $500,000 in additional revenue that you didn't have last year.
Where is that coming from mostly?
Well.
It's from being done by fixing, appropriately budgeting revenue.
Right. The biggest piece of that.
From non-tax sources.
If you look at the interest and investments,
Mm-hmm.
this is through January, you're already at $147,000. And I don't think that included December's interest in it. So if you, in your past years, you typically collected higher than what you were budgeting anyways. This brings it more in line to what you what you actually have been collecting,
More in reality.
more in reality. So there's $100,000 there. Now overlay, I don't know if you understand what that is.
No, what is overlay?
What it is you're estimating X amount of dollars of tax revenue, property tax revenue. Overlay is like abatements and things like that.
That come
Now-
out of that.
That come out of that. Now typically you'll see a higher overlay in a year where you have revaluation.
Okay.
Now, you had had $390,000 in that, and to date, 07, 08, you've only rebated about $7,100. And if you look back at the, in the prior years, you were nowhere near that.
Yeah.
So this more accurately reflects what the reduction you might be experiencing in your property taxes. So the impact of that is to increase the bottom line of your revenue.
So that's where we picked up the 290.
Right, you picked up 290 there, so you picked up $400,000 there
Okay.
in additional revenue. There's probably some other things too that were adjusted upward, but nothing of that significant impact.
And of course, that line will change again by the end of this fiscal year.
Which line?
The interest. And on
Well,
investments.
it'll
'Cause that's
always,
only current year to date, right?
Right.
you're only estimating,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I see, okay.
we're 325 is a reasonable estimate, and interest rates on investments have been going up. And I always try to do that conservatively,
Okay.
in case something does
Calculator?
happen. So, you picked up $400,000 basically in your revenue. And how much did you increase your expenses by?
I don't think Brian's doing that.
No,
Oh.
I'm doing something else.
So your bottom line budget that I had here last year was $6,426,206. And you're now at $6,828,453.
What was last year's?
6,426,206. So that's an increase of $402,000. And
In expenses?
in expenses, and a reduction of $415,000.
So it's a net
Or
loss,
an increase in $415,000.
essentially raising $13,000 less in taxes. And
That's
the
not-
other way I did it is you
that's
could
a
take
lot.
this one that Ed just gave us, the 2008 estimated, and you see town portion to be raised by taxes, $4,793,000. What I did is I added $415,000 to that. Because if we pretended to budget the same revenue for investments and the same overlay, we'd be comparing.
What numbers were you using?
What are you looking at?
Well, he's originally taking the.
To take the tax rate sheet that we just got for
Right.
2008,
The
Yeah.
3 million,
there's $3,793,000 to be raised by taxes.
Yeah,
right,
You add $415,000 to it.
which is,
Under the pretend scenario that we budgeted the same income as we did last year
Right.
from other sources, and you get $4,208,000 and blah, blah, blah cents, which is $97,000 more raised by taxes than last year.
and then that.
It's just a different way to look at it,
And-
to
and-
understand.
And then the, what is this, 41, that's only an estimate right now, so that could go higher.
No, that 415 is the difference between what was budgeted for revenue between last year and this year from non-tax sources. It is the difference. There is no estimate.
Okay, that is the real difference? Okay.
125 plus 290.
Okay.
So then
We're doing,
factor the two of them together, we're okay. We're not talking the 5 or 6% that we were originally talking.
basically, what I am,
We are.
what all this discussion, the overall town of money is increasing,
Yeah.
the amount of money we're spending. But the amount coming from property taxes is decreasing slightly because we're more fairly accurately budgeting revenue.
Putting it where it belongs,
The
calling revenue revenue.
The consequence of this, though, is that there will likely not be very much surplus
Yeah.
Correct.
at the end of next year. which
Would help
is,
to reduce.
there's disadvantages and advantages to that. And so, we just need to think about that, because, you know, if we were over budgeting overlay and under budgeting investment, we're basically putting money into the piggy bank for future expenditures and problems and stuff. And if we don't do that and we end up getting the audit report and there are significant fund balance issues, we're not gonna be fixing it, helping solve it next year.
That's correct.
We're sharpening the pencil really well, getting the budget down to very accurate numbers, which is great. And I think that's the right way to do it. I'm just, there are consequences to that. And the overall budget's still going up, but we're just being more fair in the way people are paying for it.
And I think some of this also, Don and I have had this conversation, is probably a 3-year wash before we really start looking at figures that are realistic and, you know, really start making some sense based on what's happened in the previous administration.
Yeah, I think next year's budget process, you're gonna have, as we saw going through this, some of the numbers for the 06, 07, the actuals couldn't always be relied on.
Yeah.
There's mispostings and stuff.
Yeah, that will go away next year.
Yeah.
And I think you'll have a better measure next year of what,
So this is our tough year right now, what we're going through, and as Jen is saying, they're making corrections.
This much time next year.
Yeah, they're making corrections in the CIP area, so it's a process, so.
yeah, and plus next year we'll have worked with you for a year on this. And I'll know better what you want and how to format things so it's easier for you to work with.
Exactly. You want them?
Well,
So what do we do?
I still think this last round of changes I suggested might be appropriate to put in there, but
Okay, so that's what I was gonna ask you. That's without taking the, 3 or 4 items that you
Yeah,
suggested
right.
to cut. That's without taking the $341,000 road and cutting it down to 300,000. I'd feel comfortable going with your suggestions.
So, wait a minute, I wanna make
That's
sure.
with it. His 98.8 is
no.
cutting it to,
No, see, the number that Ed just gave us, Don
Okay.
just gave us,
Fuck
this,
last.
okay, so right now we're at 6828453 for total expenditures.
okay.
If we reduce it by another 90,000, which is the numbers that we lined up, well, I think you were in
Right.
a series of relatively minor changes to mostly capital improvements, but, and then putting the buildings and grounds part-time people on a warrant article.
Right.
So we give them a choice about something that's new, that some people might say is not necessary or superfluous or not a priority. Versus we've had 2 years of votes on the mosquito spray, and I personally think it's ridiculous, but people have voted for it 2 years in a row. And we should, if we put it as a warrant article, we're kind of misrepresenting the budget, really.
So, wait a minute.
So the number, 6828 does not include the 25,000 off the ladder truck and the 41,000
all
off the roads.
goes back?
This number gets lower. 6828
Yeah.
is the total expenditures to date. That's in the budget number that Don just gave us.
But actually, Brian, that's not gonna help the potential fund balance at the end of the year for doing that, because you're taking it out of the budget, right?
It's not gonna help the fund balance. The only way to, I mean, the only thing you might say is, well, our investments have done really well, and interest rates have been good. They're declining. We should not budget what we did this year. We should budget 300 instead of 325 for that revenue. And then if you do 350, you have excess revenue. I mean,
But don't forget, even though, if we don't take the money out, that's going out of our budget. That's going into the savings account. So that's not gonna, help on the fund balance or the surplus at the end of the year. What helps there is, putting items out for bid and making sure we're getting the best dollar for what we're doing, and just watching the pennies as we're going through the entire year. And hopefully end up the year with, a percentage of the budget that's unspent. And revenues are coming in stronger than we anticipated, and that'll help us.
Okay, my still question is, on that figure that John gave us, we don't have to take out what we were talking about earlier, or we still gonna take that amount of money out? That's my question. Like the 25,000 on the ladder, Is that just?
That,
along
the
we
number
have
he
to-
gave us does not include those changes.
Does not include those changes. And if we don't make those changes, we're still okay. Is that what you're saying? I would prefer to make those cuts, only so that we have more money, if I got this right, possibly in the fund balance on the other end.
Let's do
I
this.
think that's what Mike was
because,
asking, right?
You know, it's
But-
getting to
but
be
we
almost
won't.
midnight.
Yeah.
And we're reaching that funny stage.
Mhm.
That we, tomorrow morning, we run the numbers that we have, what we did here tonight, and we'll shoot you all an email as to what it's coming out to be. And if we feel we need, at that point, to have a meeting, then
We'll have one.
let's get together tomorrow at 6 o'clock and finalize this.
Do we have to post
I
it
cannot
24
be
hours?
here tomorrow at all.
Yes.
I have
Neither.
a health insurance meeting, I have doctor's appointments, and it's Valentine's Day. I'll be working, I won't be at home with my husband eating dinner and having flowers. I better get flowers if you're watching. But I will be working all day tomorrow. I cannot.
Yeah, tomorrow is very hard for me as I.
We have the health insurance meeting here in the morning to
Right.
attend,
Okay,
reschedule.
how about 7 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
It doesn't, I'm only kidding.
I thought you were. I was like, you're gonna go home and come back 6 hours later?
Exit one.
Yeah, I just feel adding the $65,000 to the rec department is a big mistake. And we want to put $2,800 warrant article for building and grounds for 2 part-timers to take care of the fields and the grounds that we have already. I mean, if we can't afford to hire people to work in the grounds that we already have, I mean, why keep adding to the rec department? I mean,
Because the voters want it. Because the residents of this town, the far majority of them want that.
But we
Because
can't
it's a
afford it.
priority.
I want a lot of things, and
Well,
I can't afford it, so
That's why we
I
put in a
think-
warrant article and people get to decide if they want to pay for
No,
it.
the building and grounds, those people are necessary to take care of all the facilities that we've paid for and have. But-
Roseanne, you're getting very boisterous right
I'm
now, which I
sorry.
don't understand because.
I have a very loud voice. I apologize. I'll talk softly.
No, it's
But
just,
it's
you're
just we-
suddenly animated about it again.
We
I
can't
don't-
afford, well, you know, looking at all this stuff here, and Rick said he definitely needs people to help maintain the grounds that we have already in town. So we're gonna decide to put that in a warrant article, okay? And it's something that we definitely need. When we're gonna put $65,000 into something that we can't afford. I'm driving a Hyundai. I'd like a Mercedes. I can't afford one. And I think we really just, until everything is done and said here, I think we have to cut back in the attempt to expand any more facilities as much as we have. Because we gotta pay for the expansion, we have to pay for the maintenance and everything else. I think we should really step back as a group and not add anything extra this year at all. And if we can help it at all. We just really, really have to cut back. We have to be fiscally responsible. I can't see it.
So what's your proposal?
To take out the $65,000, I'd say leave the $15,000 in there for the Bernie Hallcroft Field, but take the $50,000 out for the gymnasium. It's something, I know Jim's got plans and this and that, you know, we've got a fantastic record.
Well, I think we already
can't-
voted on that once.
All right.
I mean,
But
we
that's
did
my
vote on it,
opinion.
but
I
it-
mean, and because of that, you know, we're sitting here till almost midnight. We can't keep,
Well, we're
we-
not sitting here because of that. We're sitting here because we're trying to get the number to where we think it's
Yeah.
comfortable and affordable.
I mean, we're cutting 500 here, 1,000 here, and
Flipping the page is
just to,
pretty hard there.
So,
I got a couple thousand.
Well, this is X. We don't need to worry about it.
I would like to continue with those proposed changes.
Oh, okay, so do I. You'll get my
But-
vote on that one.
Yes.
Can you say them one more time?
Okay, this
Those
is
cuts.
reduce the capital reserve investment, or whatever you want to call it, transfer for roads from 341,070 to 300
Yeah,
flat.
that's fine, I can do that.
However, I still would like to put 25,000 in from the gym thing. Even though we voted it on the other
Huh?
side, we're going back.
Can we do one at a time? Sorry.
Yeah.
The roads.
She just asked me to summarize the changes,
The
so let me just
changes.
do
Oh,
that,
yes.
and then you can add on
Well,
to
you
it.
guys were talking,
I thought you meant all of this. No, I thought you meant all of this. That's why I said-
Okay, so the roads would be dropped to 300,000 even from whatever number it was.
Okay.
25
25 from the ladder.
ladder truck would go from 50 to 25,000. Thank you for reminding me.
Assessing?
Assessing, maybe, this is nickel and dimes, but from 4 to 3,000 for part-time data verification, it'd be $1,000 increase still, which is 50% more time than he has now. I don't know. The, putting the building and grounds employees for maintenance of parks and fields as a warrant article, that's $28,800. The veterans funding, which is probably not in the right place if they're gonna use it for the TV, so it's $6,000 in buildings and grounds for memorial maintenance. It sounds like they can use this, the CIP fund, the trust fund for any kind of studies and memorial maintenance, because that's what it's for. So if they want money for the filming, we need to maybe move that to Channel 13, veterans filming, and they asked for 5,000, I would put in like 3,000.
So you want to cut that in half?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So it's a net $3,000 difference, and then Don and Ed can figure out where they want to put it in the budget so it makes sense to them.
So it's 3,000, not 30,000.
$3,000.
Right now, it's in buildings and grounds,
Right.
memorial maintenance, zero that, don't even have that line in there, and put $3,000 like in Channel 13, because that's what they want to use it for, is Channel 13.
Okay.
And
That was it. Roads, jail, grounds for the part-timers.
that was those are the summary, and that's about 60, 66,
Well,
69, 70,
Yeah.
that's 98,000 approximately.
Around
Well, we're putting in the grounds thing with probably our recommendation that voters support it, but it's, it
We're
gives them a choice.
pulling it off of the percentage on this end of the budget.
Well, it's just
side.
giving them a choice.
Right, right.
And
And if they
I've
decide to
expla-
go for it, then that still raises our rate by how much? It's-
28,
It's still gonna raise it. I mean,
Roseanne, it's about giving people choices. That's why I see it. I think, I've explained it, the mosquitoes.
I think we should put the gymnasium down for a choice. If people want to spend that kind of money to add on to the rec department, let's put that out for a choice, too. I'm sorry, you know, we're cutting roads, we
I
gotta,
have to agree,
We're
not
doing
totally what she's saying, but I definitely
you know, we're
think
cutting
we
money
should
down
have
from
something.
roads that's a necessity.
Are you leaving? Because we're
No,
not
no.
done.
I know, I'm just, we're cutting down on roads, and we're planning on putting a gymnasium, and that's what's putting us over, and to me,
Well,
that's
I don't,
absolutely
see,
beautiful.
I don't think that we made the decision that we're building a gymnasium. We said that we
I know, but
have
you're putting
a significant
50,000
amount
in.
of recreation facilities that need money. And we cut it from 120 to $11,000. That's what the CIP committee recommended. And we don't have a clear understanding of that. It seems like it didn't necessarily think about the purchases. And we have several $100,000 that in the next 2 to 3 years will be spent, significantly reducing the money available for future things. We spent $40,000 on a recreation master plan that identified the priorities, got significant input, did detailed plans for a lot of that stuff. And recreation is the thing in this town that the most people benefit from, that we as a town do.
And how long ago was that done?
3 years ago, 2 years ago?
Okay. And things financially have changed since then. That's what
I don't
the
think they have changed. I think we have a better picture of the finances now, but we're not in a bad position.
No, I wouldn't say we're in a bad position, but I think what Roseanne's trying to say, and I have to agree, is prioritizing. Do we want people to maintain what we currently have or have that go downhill? Or do we want to put some money into a gymnasium, which, it just, I mean,
Again, I don't
I
think it's in
mean-
there for a gymnasium. The list has a pool. I don't think we're putting money aside for a pool.
right, but here's my concern is, if we put that in there for a gymnasium, and we're saying at this point, we can use it for anything down the road, doesn't mean it has to be used for a gymnasium, but this is not gonna be the same council. What is their interpretation at that time? That you'll say, no, it's in there for a gymnasium, we gotta use it for a gymnasium.
So, does the
That-
council
that's-
agree with that list of changes at this point?
Yes.
And if there's other ones, we can talk about it, but let's
This
decide
is-
on that or not.
Can you go over those again quickly?
Okay, the roadway reconstruction.
Minus 41K there.
Yeah.
25K for the ladder.
Yeah.
The assessing, said reducing the $1,000.
Part-time
Part-time, okay.
data verification.
Then you took 3,000 out of the vets and put it in the Channel 13.
And so the vet line in the buildings and grounds would be zero. There wouldn't be one. There's a new line called buildings and grounds, veterans maintenance, memorial maintenance.
And the only one that didn't use the part-timers for buildings and grounds? How much?
The new part-time,
Minus 28, wasn't it?
28,800,
Which you're gonna put as a warrant.
380.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, what else suggestions? We have a consensus that we want to make those changes to the budget, which reduces the overall number by about 98,000.
The only one I'm concerned about is taking out the grounds one, because we need to maintain what we currently have. And so I'm concerned that, I mean, I do understand, I'm concerned that we wouldn't be able to maintain what we have, but we'd be saving for more recreational needs. Not to say gymnasium, whatever. So I would suggest that we keep the grounds one in, and that we knock the contribution to recreation to 25,000 instead of 50 on the gymnasium line.
Thank you.
So it's a 25.
So it washes it out, basically.
So it
Yeah.
washes it out.
That's
but
fine with me.
But at least it's maintaining what we currently have and saving for what we'd like in the future. I'd like to propose that.
I can live with that.
That's fine with me.
I can
Did
Did you
live
get
with
that, Don?
No.
Okay, so the recreation number, instead of being 76,875 for the CIP, is 25,000 less than that. And the buildings and grounds is not a warrant article, it's back in the budget.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
And then
good.
I have it's nickel and dime stuff, but I'm willing to offer it if you're willing to listen. Page 1.
Of,
Of
okay, of the
this.
summary document.
Summary?
Yes.
Of this?
This thing.
Oh, I gotta put some of this stuff.
If you didn't find it, I found
Right,
another
right.
copy. Okay,
This
that-
one,
that's
right?
it, that's it.
Um,
Thank you, everybody, for working so hard on this.
500 from the training. It's a new thing that we added. Do 500 this year, and then see how many people actually use it.
Town council training,
Town
third
council
line.
training.
We had 1,000 in there? Is
We had
that what it was?
1,000, drop it down to 500.
Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Committee support, again, it's a new line item, started out at 500, and then pick it up next year.
Yep.
Contingency grants.
Everybody okay with that?
Wait, what was the second one? Sorry.
Committee support from 1,000 down to 500.
Committee support from one, yep.
Contingency grants, down 1,000, so it's at 5,000.
Who gets impacted on that?
Us.
This is $2,000 from our budget.
Okay.
We're taking 2,000 off that?
No.
Oh, no, 1,000, 5 and 5.
Right.
Okay.
Brian, are you concerned with, is that aside because you're concerned with contingency?
No, it's fine.
Let's go home.
Yeah, I want to go home.
I am not complaining at all.
I got my
All right.
second win, so let's go.
That's what I'm laughing at.
Okay.
Training.
Suddenly Roseanne's really perky.
Stay with me, people. Training staff development, number 2, $500 off that. It was 5,000.
Where are you?
I'm in the town administration now.
Full-time
I just took 500 from you. Ed.
training staff development.
Training and staff development.
402190.
5,000
To the same level as last year.
5,500, same level as last year.
Well, we just cut 100,000 from full-time salary.
Printing and publishing under town administration minus 5.
Everybody's okay, I'm assuming.
Minus 500?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm sorry, which one?
Printing administration,
Printing and, printing
Okay.
and
publishing.
Minus 500? Okay.
Ed, are you okay with that 1,000 out of your budget?
No,
All right.
that'll work. You'll get $500 less than the town report.
Probably.
And I'm actually, and it's,
We-
doesn't,
I hear- no, I
it's
hear you.
$1,000 you figure out where
Yep.
you're keeping it from.
Contracted
Finance-
services.
Finance, not Don's salary, but training staff development, again, 500 from training staff development.
Is that on a different page?
Same page.
No, 31.
It's the
Same
fourth
page, and
line
then
in finance.
500 from general supplies. So 1,000 from town administration, 1,000 from finance, 2,000 from town council. That's $4,000 on the first page.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jim, but what did you say for general supplies minus?
500 minus 5.
Okay.
Are you moving on to
Sorry,
the next
Don.
page?
Minus 4,000.
Yeah, so it's minus 4,000 on the first page. Second page is,
Did you go through the whole thing?
I did.
She did.
I'd like to be anticipating, so it's good for me to know what to anticipate.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't do anything to employee benefits, because we're, the only thing we can do. Town clerk, tax collector, we already cut that one. So code enforcement, minus 500 again from training. And minus 500 for telephone. Page 2, Roseanne.
Oh, there we go.
Code.
And what was the other one?
And it's minus 500.
Telephone, $200.
Telephone.
200 from telephone?
No, 500.
I thought you said 5.
What's the,
And what was the other one in code enforcement?
500 from training.
Can you realistically take 500 from
I just
telephone?
looked, I can't do that. I don't know why I had that on there. Because their previous bill was that. I don't know why we're spending $2,000 on this, but.
What
So
is that? It's
500.
gotta be a cell phone
That's what I'm thinking.
and the telephone line?
500 from the training, Jen?
Just 500 from the training.
500
Okay.
from training.
So that page is minus 500.
Yeah.
Yeah, why is telephone so, we're taking 500 off telephone.
No,
training.
she changed it.
Oh, you changed
Because
it?
the
the actuals are
say
1940.
1950. I don't know why
Oh,
that's
okay.
so sensitive,
So
but-
just 500 on that.
Yeah, so that's not-
I don't have time
And
to
then
figure it out.
direct assistance.
It's cell phone.
$1,000 off of direct assistance, and I put it under the electricity, because we haven't, year-to-date, only 14, and last year's was 3,700, so it's still increasing it from last year's.
So what are you proposing?
Expenditures, just $1,000
$1,000?
in direct assistance, they can take it wherever they want.
Okay.
Okay,
Reducing it
anywhere
1,000.
from anywhere? Is that what you said?
Well,
I'm
she's,
giving you the line item that I think it makes most sense for, but in reality, it's just,
Subtract 1,000.
right.
Right.
but we're saying from
From electricity.
Let's shut the lights off.
So that's 5,000 down to 4,000.
Right.
Okay.
Because the actuals were 3,700, and this year to date, they're only 14.
How can they be exactly $3,700?
I think that's a bunch.
Assessing the same $1,000 that Brian
That's the
already
budget.
said.
Oh,
And then
okay.
500 from his training.
Thank you, Don.
Where are we? I couldn't hear you, Jen.
Is that a size, is that too much?
No, it was, well, I don't know if Ed's time, we were talking over you, so.
What's
I was.
assessing? Do the
You
assessing
need
numbers
to do the numbers
again?
again in assessing.
Okay. The same $1,000 I have that, whatever Brian had in part-time salaries, $1,000 there,
Mm-hmm.
and 500 from his training as well. I am not gonna have any friends tomorrow. And then on the last one, planning and zoning, 1,500 from the tax maps. We have it at 6,500. Last year it was at 3,000. We've already,
500, you said?
I would,
1,500 from that.
so you want to put it down to 5,000?
Yeah.
I don't see that. Like I'm
I
missing
didn't number
something?
my pages.
The
but-
last line on the planning.
Page
Go
3.
back.
Go back?
You
Last
point-
line above the gray line.
I have legal. Oh,
Just
that
below it.
line. Okay, and how much you're taking?
1,500.
Okay, so that's down to 5,000. And that page,
So that page-
exclusive of the one change to part-time, which we already had calculated.
He's down 3,000.
I have 4,000.
Yeah, but I'm not including that
Oh,
1,000
okay.
because Brian already took it.
I just don't want to double count it when we do the total amount of cuts.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then I skipped to the MIS department. And one of the things in the budget that was concerning me was that the MIS used to be in the finance, but when you took them out, it was still a big increase in this new department. So in training, there's 1,000 off on the training.
So 1,500?
Mm-hmm.
I lost the MIS here. I don't
Page
see
4.
You didn't number yours, you're right there.
Oh,
Right there.
I'm sorry, I was
Yeah, it's
looking
the
at the
first line is
MIS
down.
up here. All right. And we're taking how much on which one?
Training, the second line, take 1,000 off of that, and then take 1,000 off general supplies. And that's a new item, and we're giving him 4,500.
Yeah, that one, I mean, he gave good detail about that.
The 4,500.
Yeah.
Under the
Yeah.
whole thing.
I am trying to find that again. Hold on a second.
So, some of the numbers here were taken, my budget was reduced by the amounts that we put in here.
I would
That may
not,
have been one of
Oh,
them.
from those, they were
Yeah.
switches from yours to.
the general,
okay,
like, the
yeah.
general supplies is like,
Right, right.
my
Oh,
mouse
that's
broke,
right.
buy me a new mouse.
Oh, yeah,
For
he's
the
doing
whole
it for-
MIS, for
Yeah.
everybody.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Okay.
my battery backup thing.
Right.
I can
died.
see taking 1,000 off the training, though.
Okay,
Still a good one.
then we'll just keep that one then.
1,000
I'll
off the
ignore
training?
I'll ignore the rest of them.
Yeah, so that's a 1,000 off that page. Just training was affected. by consensus, sounds like. Page 5. Do you have any changes in police?
I do. Why, did you want to skip it?
No.
Postage, why is that so high?
Where am I?
Oh,
Communication services, $1,000, so it would be 13,700, so it would go up 1,000 from last year.
So you do take 5,000.
So much.
13.7?
Yes.
Just 1,000.
Communication
He said
service?
that there's an increase in the Sprint mobile technology. Covers all telephone, 911 spots, internet, and I think the spots went up. Yeah, he said due to increase in spots fee. I'm not sure how much he can control that.
Right.
Seeing that his budget went down 5% because of the salary changes and
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
he did go down already.
And we also pulled out the
The
special detail.
special details.
So you
That
want to
was-
just keep
Which is an in
police
and
the
out,
way it
but
is,
still.
because
I'd
it's
like
already
to,
gone down
well, I'd like to
5%?
keep the communication part there because I think it's very well justified
The
and,
communication service?
yeah.
The other thing too that is not reflected in, like, the actuals in last year, is that they have the cruises online now with the laptops.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So that may be part of the increase.
They're starting to do that,
Increase
yeah.
in
The
that.
Sprint mobile technology.
Well, nice thing on that, too.
Okay.
All right, so don't cut them.
Oh, you were on police. I was down in Public Works.
She's going to Public Works next, I'm sure.
Okay. So what, we cutting anything out of police?
Hmm.
No.
No.
No, okay.
So uniforms, they had at 8,000 before, and it's up 11,652, so we can take 1,000 for uniforms.
Is that
Public Works.
part of the contract, though?
Public
No,
Works
this is
doesn't
Public
have
Works.
Oh,
it.
Public Works, I'm sorry. You're over there already.
It's just on the same page you were on.
So it's down to 10,652.
So minus 1,000.
And that's it for that, so 1,000 from that.
And how come we have 0 for signs this year? Don't we need any signs in town? We're not getting any signs?
She's on roadway sidewalks.
Yeah.
It just means that,
Skip.
no, you're on page 6.
I don't think that, I think that's one of those lines that was never funded, it should
Should be taken out.
be taken out.
Okay.
Anything on this one, Jen?
So, road contract, street, MAR,
Marker. That's the painting of lines.
painting the lines of the road, we had it at 4,800, I just had 500 from there, it was 6,120.
Okay, 500 from it?
From contract street marking?
6,120.
And what is weather service?
That's the weather service.
Yeah.
They literally call. and-
Channel 47?
No,
No.
they literally, they're like, we asked this once and he explained like, he
Okay.
gets alerts.
Yeah,
The temperature in your area has dropped below freezing.
right.
Or snow squalls are coming, 4 to 6 inches expected.
And that information is passed on to the
It's
school.
more
and
rapid
other
than,
areas.
more
Yeah.
complete and rapid than National
Okay.
Weather Service.
It's more
Next
accurate.
page.
Yep.
You're not gonna cut the street lights?
So we,
We need to pay for this. And again, I'm gonna, trying to justify that it's just a little from every
No,
department.
no, it
trying
makes
to-
sense.
I mean, speak up if you don't agree with it. Elevator maintenance. I know we had an issue with the elevator, but do we need 2,800? I was gonna cut that by 500. We've spent $1,000.
On page 7?
It's in the middle. I didn't count my pages.
Oh, I see it.
Is that $2,800 now?
Elevator maintenance.
I don't see it.
Elevator maintenance,
Yeah.
Buildings and
by
grounds,
1,000?
448,
No, by
401,
500,
0125.
$2,800.
Oh, here it is, right here.
That's this elevator in this building.
Now, when it says,
Oh, is that the DPW?
Well, it could be both.
Building and grounds, elevator maintenance, probably the elevator maintenance of every elevator, which would
Which we have
be
2.
this one
Yeah, well-
and,
There's not one in police, is there?
no.
no, we walked the
This here.
stairs.
No, but they,
What is,
Also, have one at the fire station.
no, they don't.
They probably do, actually. Yeah,
They
they
do.
do. They do.
Well,
They have
that's,
one for new
it's in
DPW.
between DPW and the fire stations, that one in the middle there, as you walk up the stairs, it's
No,
off to the left.
police.
Oh, no, police doesn't.
Police does.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, sorry.
Okay. So you want a minus
I've been in the
500?
Public Works one.
Yeah.
Now, what's the buildings and ground young lane maintenance? Don't we take care of that ourselves?
That is.
This is ourselves.
That's the.
Public Works Fire
Works
Rescue.
and Fire.
Okay.
So elevator maintenance. Maintenance contract, $2,400. State inspection, $400. Sounds like it's a
Times
fixed
two?
cost.
What about
Oh, it's
the,
an elevator.
It's a contract,
Inspection.
it's basically a guaranteed contract with the company, so if there's something happens, they come over
So
and
we'll
fix it.
leave that one.
Yeah.
what about the town clock thing there? That's 3,000. Did we have a budget that had that thing fixed this year?
We don't have,
No, this is
Right.
to
This is-
wind the clock.
it goes up
It
there. and
doesn't
fixes
work.
No, the clock works.
Oh.
The striking arm doesn't work.
I'm thinking it doesn't work.
The mechanism to ring the bell.
I don't see a change there. Anything else on this page?
No.
So no changes on page 7?
What about, we got mosquito control in there.
Yeah, I said that maybe send that one to the Warren article, but I don't think it's gonna get the support, so I didn't say it again. Library, I left.
Library.
I'm going by this thing. I think that was it.
Where's the channel 13?
You passed it, okay.
Yeah, we passed it.
Okay, we need
The
to,
MIS budget.
Oh, it's part of MIS?
it's below it, below it.
It's just below it.
Oh, yeah. Can we just put in there channel 13 deaths?
Yeah, but
Evening?
Where are you?
Page 4.
MIS. Channel 13, okay.
Channel 13 dash veterans. $3,000.
Okay, so I've got to add 3.
It goes all a little touchy.
Well, no, we already had that. And then,
I
did you
know
have,
they're little, but.
did you have anything else?
No,
So what's that? Do you know?
I can total it up.
So I can do that for you.
That's 45. 75, yeah, 75.
10,000.
95.
$10,000.
10,000. Yeah. It's 10,500, but that's close. Yeah.
Happy Valentine's.
It's Valentine's Day now.
Oh, yeah,
happy it Valentine's
Day.
Okay, so we have reduced the expenditures.
Yeah, what about grants for festivals? We're doing 5,000 for Heritage. Can we do less than, what are we
I-
doing, 8,500?
I am not gonna reduce that funding.
No? Okay.
Not,
No, I don't think we should.
not without bigger discussion about it with
Yeah.
them. That's always been a hard one to, so if we take out the 90, about 95 from the previous cuts plus the 10,
I should have had that.
so that's 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 is the total expenditures, which total general, total whatever, not general, I guess it is general fund. Which is $297,000 higher than last year. Which is 4.6%. Gross expenditures higher. That's pretty good.
How much is it? 4.6?
Yeah, but that's not, that's not tax
Yeah. No,
revenue increase, it's just the total gross expenditures. And seeing that we had $18,000 of surprise expenses from, well, not surprise, but it wasn't in last year for the recreation buildings, propane, electricity. We've assumed the, well, the mosquito is already, so that's new, so that's a big, I mean, that's $18,000, that's 10% of the increase. So,
I think we did well.
we did good enough to give it to the budget committee. And let them dissect it further.
Does somebody here have to sign off on it?
We need to make a motion, I think, to recommend the budget as proposed, as amended through this arduous process over the last couple of weeks.
So moved.
Which is 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, is that what you said?
Yeah, what is that final?
6, 7, 2, 3, 4.
That's an approximation.
That's what we want to be hitting. And
Around that number, yeah. And then I think it would be great if you guys did send an email out tomorrow morning
Yep.
and a memo to those on email that says, here's where we're at
All right, I lost a sheet of paper here.
on total expenditures and the projected tax rate and stuff like that.
Yep. What time is the health insurance?
We also,
tomorrow?
Yeah, this must be
and
yours.
Don, make sure that the assumption in that budget is no more than, is whatever you have for ambulance minus like 40,000 or 45. So we do that warrant article correctly.
The budget gets this tomorrow. When do they meet? Saturday morning? The budget committee.
Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, do you have?
I have the thing. I just wanted to write it here.
Okay.
What's happening
So-
Saturday morning?
We have a motion to recommend the budget with the changes as discussed tonight, with the understanding that the approximate total is 6.7 million from general fund.
Second.
Is there any discussion on that? All right, please call the roll.
Council Fox?
Aye.
Council LeBranch?
Aye.
Council Jarvis?
Aye.
Council Glennon?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0.
So what happens
Can I
now?
put my papers away now, Brian?
We submit this to the budget committee, and they can cut it more.
Yep.
And
They can
then
add money too.
they can add money, and then it doesn't come back to us.
No.
And then it goes as part of the
We have
budget,
the
as a
deliberative
warrant-
session.
a warrant article.
Deliberative
Okay.
Deliberative session, it could be added to or
Subtracted.
reduced.
Reduced again.
And the budget session starts Saturday. I can't make it. Mike, I'm assuming you'll be there as a
I'll be
member?
there.
And it would be helpful, I think, when we get farther along the process, that we have more participation from the council to help answer questions that Mike might not have remembered or Ed can't. Just to help them understand our process, because it's different than schools, and, there's a lot of new members and stuff like that. So don't let it just be Mike's burden, because it
You mean
takes a lot of time.
at which portion, like Saturday morning?
Saturday or whenever they have their meetings going
Just
Just
forward.
like Rod
Okay.
Bull sat in on a
Okay.
lot of our town council meetings about the budget, it would be good to have town council members sit on there.
As far as I know, this is my last Saturday I have to work, so, because Monday's a holiday, and I have to work.
So we didn't get to warrant articles, we'll do that on Wednesday, and the bonding issue we'll talk about next week as well, and I'm sure we'll have more details by then too. But you saw the memo, and it's a good start.
And also, hopefully, we'll have some type of legal opinion.
Yep, so motion to adjourn at
So moved.
12:10.
12:12.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? No. Thank you, everybody.
Here, Jen, I'll pick up your